So if you've seen my previous video, you'll know that I challenged myself to follow this meme where I picked 3 random songs from my playlist and designed characters based off of them. 2 of the songs tell the 2 characters, and the 3rd song tells what their relationship is. In my previous video, I designed a character based off of Taylor Swift's Better Man, and in this video, I am designing her love interest, which is based off of Ed Sheeran's Castle on the Hill. I did a preliminary kind of thumbnail sketch of both of the characters where I kind of just got the overall vibe of what they were like and, you know, the feeling that those songs kind of evoked and what I wanted to evoke with the characters themselves. So for this guy, I knew that I really wanted him to be fun-loving and carefree. The song Castle on the Hill really gives that kind of vibe. It's about a guy who just loves hanging out with his friends. It's about memories. It's about enjoying nature, riding into the countryside, and but it also has kind of a bittersweet feeling at the ending because, you know, with memories, oftentimes comes loss and heartbreak as well. So, you know, there's all of that I kind of wanted to infuse in this character, but I pictured him as being this character that just really loves life and just loves nature and loves getting out in it and loves having adventures. That's easier said than done though, because, you know, it's one thing to say that you want this character to be all these things, but how do you show that? And a lot of the drawings that I did of him, they just were not right. I wanted him to be young, like no older than his mid-20s perhaps, and I didn't want him to look too big and muscular. I just wanted him to, you know, feel like a very, you know, carefree guy who just, you know, has fun. And I didn't want him to look too old. I didn't want him to look too buff. I didn't want him to... So there was a lot of fine-tuning and tweaking with his character. So I also started thinking of like what kind of lifestyle this guy would have, you know, if he loves nature and loves, you know, getting out and enjoying nature, what would he maybe do for a living? My husband and I have actually been watching a lot of like tiny home or van life YouTube videos, and I thought that vibe really suits this character, and I really think he would be the kind of person that would just throw everything he owns into a van and travel across the country and document it and share it with the rest of the world. So I kind of pictured him as being this van life YouTuber who just loves adventures and loves nature so much that he has to share it. So that was my thoughts behind him, you know, what drives this character. But, you know, as I said, maybe there's something in his backstory where, you know, he's this happy-go-lucky guy, but maybe that's more of a choice than how he should be based on the hand that life has dealt him. It felt like it took a while to actually find the final design for him, but it actually came together a lot quicker than I was expecting, especially, you know, once I had a few details down. I knew I wanted him to have, you know, like be a very much of a t-shirt guy, have maybe an overshirt, have a smartwatch, and that he definitely is always either in hiking boots, tennis shoes, or flip-flops, but I thought the hiking boots would probably be the thing that he wears the most often. As you'll see later, I wasn't 100% sold on these shorts. I don't know why. It just, not that this character wouldn't wear shorts, but, you know, for like the final design of it, I really thought pants would be better especially for the illustration that I want to make. I thought the shorts kind of made him skew a lot younger. So I also played around with a lot of colors. If you have watched my former video of the girl, you'll know that I went with some very cool tones for her wardrobe, whereas with his, I wanted to really warm that up, you know, especially since he is in nature all the time. I really feel like that would be reflected in his clothing, and you can't see it on his shirt yet, but the word on his shirt is explore, which, you know, I think would probably either be like merch from his YouTube videos or just, you know, a shirt that he picked up at a national park or something like that. This is the final color palette that I really determined on, and the look with his pants, more like a jeans kind of look. So then I moved on to that thumbnail sketch to see if I could transfer that design into that original pose that I felt had a lot of that feeling and that vibe of the song that I really wanted to infuse. So if you're wondering why he is standing with his arms like that, he's leaning against something. I don't know what. I didn't really feel like drawing something. It's maybe a barrier on a hiking trail, or maybe it's, you know, a fence. Maybe it's like the sunroof of a car, I don't know. But, you know, he's just enjoying the moment and letting his hair blow in the wind and all of that. And yeah, I don't know why I got confused with his shirt, the way that why I had it blowing around him, whereas, you know, I kind of wanted to show off what his shirt was saying, what his t-shirt was saying underneath. And I wanted his hair to be a little bit crazy, you know, like he just kind of rolls out of bed in the morning and goes, but also not too crazy. You know, like I said, with this guy, it was all about finding the right balance for him and what was right for his character. And I'm sticking to a very similar color palette in terms of the limits that I put on this color palette with the other character that I designed. If you've watched my previous video, you know that I decided that this brown color that I used for the line art is the darkest color that I am going to use in the picture. And, you know, that's something that I've been playing around with. It's not the darkest color of brown that you can have, you know, before it goes into the blacks. But I really wanted to play around with that, see how if it softened the colors, if it, you know, made the lines less harsh, what kind of vibe it gives. So far, I've really liked the effect that it gives. And so I've been playing around with that. So I decided that I would stick to that color of brown as being like the darkest color. So any colors in this palette would need to be a lighter value than that brown. Also, something I didn't mention in my previous video is that I decided to not go fully white either. I found this really, it's almost a pink color that if you notice, I use it for the teeth, for the whites of the eyes. And unfortunately, I lost most of the footage of coloring him in this last picture. Ultimately, this is how he turned out, and I'm fairly happy with it. I really like the way the color palette turned out. I think it works very well with her color palette. I hope it looks like they exist in the same universe. That was definitely what this whole exercise was really about. If you'd like to see what I do next with these two characters, I am planning on finishing out this meme, this challenge, by making a illustration that really shows their relationship, maybe how it's either starts or, you know, how it progresses. Their relationship will be based off of I'm Yours by Alessia Cara, which is actually one of my favorite songs of hers. I'm still looking for names. I think I might actually have a name for the girl, but if you have any ideas on what the guy's name could be or anything like that, please drop a comment below. Let me know what you'd like to see in this illustration of their relationship, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much to my patrons, and thank you for watching.